Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak, Chris Flaherty, and Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, and Jolie Atwood with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us. Burlington Public Schools have reported 5 confirmed positive cases and 3 probable cases of COVID-19 in the past week. The confirmed cases were at Burlington High School, Marshall Simons Middle School, Pine Glen Elementary, Fox Hill Elementary, and Francis Wyman Elementary. Additionally, there are 3 probable cases at Pine Glen, all in different grades and classrooms. In each case, contact tracing was done by the Board of Health, and anyone determined to be a close contact was alerted they would need to quarantine. In all but the high school, the classroom where the cases were found were moved to remote for 10 days. There was also a case at Shawsheen Tech, and in that instance, the school says it appears to be the first case of in-school transfer from one individual to another. Again, contact tracing was completed, and anyone determined to be in close contact was notified. A liquor license, no, that's next. The Burlington and the area was hit with its first major snowstorm of the season on Wednesday night. BNEWS Director Rich Hosford went to talk with DPW Director John Sanchez about the cleanup effort and has this report.
New England was hit with the first heavy snowfall of the season on Wednesday night into Thursday morning. In total, Burlington received roughly 13 inches of the white stuff that had to be cleared by the town. The snow started somewhat late at night, but the cleanup effort was underway well before then.
So we prepare way ahead of time. I mean, we start working really in September to what is going to be the winter season. Particularly to this storm, though, we lined up all the forces early on in the day, just to make sure that all the divisions of Public Works, Recreation, and everybody who helped us within the town was going to be ready for the event. And pretty much we started doing pre-treating about 8 p.m. ahead of the storm. We had the contractors who help us in the town be here at midnight. Which is pretty much when the storm was starting to really go. As we know, it went overnight. So as far as the forecast, it was a really good forecast for us to actually get the forces ready to do the event.
So how did the cleanup effort go?
The cleanup was fairly good in the sense that we had a good amount of contractors and town plows. We had like 82 pieces working during the event. We had a few breakdowns. Typically, they do happen, and in particular the first event, they tend to happen probably more often. But we were able to clear the roads, the main roads in the neighborhoods by about noontime yesterday. But we have work to do.
Sanchez said the department has one important goal as its first priority during a storm.
Goal during a big storm event like this one is to clear all the roads for emergency vehicles. That's what we want to make sure of, that if anybody needs to get out or first responders need to come in, we're going to be ahead of them, making sure that those roads are passable, and we succeeded on that.
Finally, Sanchez said on Friday that they would continue treating the roads in anticipation of cold weather this weekend. He also said work continues on the town sidewalks, an effort made more difficult due to the timing of the storm.
We'll continue to do sidewalks today and possibly tomorrow. It didn't help that we had trash collection delayed to today, because right now the barrels are on the sidewalks, and it's very difficult to get the operation done when they have to move the toters out of the way and then put them back. So that really slows us down. So we probably will continue the rest of the day today, as well as coming back tomorrow and just finishing that up.
From the Town Hall Annex, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
A liquor license long in contention is finally coming back to the town. The Board of Selectmen voted unanimously on Monday night to accept back to the town the liquor license from the never-materialized Burlington Beer Works that was planned on opening in the Crossroads Plaza at 34 Cambridge Street. The vote came after the parent owner, Slazar Brothers Brewing Company, told the town they did not intend to renew the license in 2021. The project, which was set to occupy the former Outback Steakhouse, was first brought to the town in 2015, and after some changes and modifications to the plan, was issued a building permit in February of 2018. However, the plan never materialized. Slazar Brothers said changes in the plaza no longer made it economically feasible, and they had been looking for an entity to transfer the license to in order to recoup the cost they initially spent to acquire it. In 2018, the board voted to revoke the license due to inactivity, but in March 2019 had to repeal that decision after the state said they needed to give the company a full 6-month warning. Since that time, Slazar Brothers has continually asked for additional time to transfer the license and has been granted extensions. The extensions have been mostly automatic since the start of the pandemic and economic shutdown. Slazar Brothers attorney Paul Sporn said his client initially paid $195,000 for the license and argued in past meetings that any move to revoke it would lead to further legal action. However, now the company has decided not to renew the license and pay the subsequent fee to the town in the new year, making the point moot. The Burlington Fire Department saw 2 members promoted and wished another one a happy retirement during the Board of Selectmen meeting on Monday evening. At the recommendation of Fire Chief Michael Patterson, Town Administrator Paul Sagarino promoted Lieutenant James Brown to captain and firefighter Michael McLaughlin to lieutenant. Before the appointments, Patterson took time to congratulate Captain Kevin Brown, James's older brother, on his retirement. Here he is talking about Captain Brown's more than 3 decades of service.
At the date of his retirement, Captain Kevin Brown will have served our community for nearly 35 years. I mean, to sum it up, Kevin has just been a true fire service leader. His blended knowledge, experience, and ability ranks him as one of our department's most respected officers. I would say he is the most respected officer. He's been a mentor to all that have worked with him, including myself. We wish Captain Kevin Brown a happy and healthy retirement.
Chief Patterson also spoke about James Brown's long experience with the department as he recommended he be promoted to captain.
Lieutenant James Brown has been a member of the Burlington Fire Department since April of 1997. He was promoted to lieutenant in April of 2003. He has served as our fire department's fire prevention lieutenant on 2 occasions. He currently serves as the senior lieutenant of Group 4. As a senior lieutenant, Lieutenant Brown has experience working as a shift commander. I believe Jim's 17 years of experience as lieutenant has no doubt prepared him for this promotion.
Finally, here is Chief Patterson on the promotion of Acting Lieutenant Michael McLaughlin to lieutenant.
Michael McLaughlin was appointed a Burlington firefighter in July of 2005. He's currently assigned as acting lieutenant with Group 1. He has 15 years of firefighting experience, which no doubt will prepare him for this upcoming promotion. Michael, like many of us, is a second-generation Burlington firefighter. His father, Paul McLaughlin, served the town of Burlington for 27 years and retired in 2002. I recommend Acting Lieutenant Michael McLaughlin to be promoted to the position of lieutenant, effective the week of January 10th, 2021.
The Sculpture Park Committee is organizing a Burlington postcard project. Clearly, the Sculpture Park will be one of the subjects for the postcards, but there's a lot more to show off in and around Burlington. BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanek has this look at the project.
With some Sculpture Park swag available just in time for the holidays, the Burlington Sculpture Park Committee is putting together a series of Burlington postcards and is looking for your contribution.
Part of the idea behind the Sculpture Park is to have something here that is postcard worthy. So we said, okay, let's start working on a set of postcards of the sculptures, and we are working on that. And then we said, but there's a lot more to Burlington that is postcard worthy. Like right over here, we have the beautiful tavern, which is wonderfully restored, and I think that's kind of one of the prime examples. There's a lot of other historical sites, and then we have Mary Cummings Park, we have the landlocked forest, and we have the beautiful walk around the reservoir. I was looking at the ball field over in Simons Park. We don't have a beautiful early evening shot of kids playing softball with maybe a sunset in the background. That would be a fantastic picture to have on a postcard because that's a beautiful Burlington spot up there. We're thinking of different sets of postcards. The sculpture park, the historicals, the natural places, the town center. I would say if somebody has a painting that they have done that's a good representation of Burlington, postcard worthy, and we can't pay because this is really a fundraiser and an attention raiser pretty much for the sculpture park. But if they would want to allow us to use it, send us in a picture of your painting, your drawing. That could go on a postcard too. And we may also involve some of the work of the high school kids. You go to the burlingtonsculpturepark.org website, and there's a button at the top right of every page that says Postcard Project, and you click over there, and you actually can upload your picture right from your computer or even your phone using the form that's sitting there. It's just an overall booster project for the town, but the focus started with the sculpture park.
From the Burlington Sculpture Park, I'm BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak.
The Burlington Police Department welcomed 4 new members to its ranks this week. Chief Michael Kent said in a release he is pleased to announce the academy graduation of the 4 newest officers of the department. Officers Melissa Cadet of Malden, Sean McGinn of Haverhill, Maurice Medico of North Reading, and Stan Savage of Everett graduated from the Lowell Police Academy on Friday, December 11th. A socially distanced swearing-in ceremony was held for the 4 on Monday, December 14th at the police station with family members in attendance. The Police Academy is 24 weeks long and consists of more than 900 hours of a combination of practical and classroom training, certifications, and service to the community. Some of the classes include first aid, law, applied patrol procedures, firearms, report writing, active shooter training, specialized driving, and self-defense. All in-person trainings are done in compliance with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention guidelines to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The 4 will now complete a 10-week field training program. If you still have some holiday shopping left to do, might we suggest supporting your fellow residents while doing so? Many local crafters are showcasing their creations and products in the Made in Burlington Facebook group in lieu of craft fairs and other large public events this year. Recently, BNews reporter Chris Flaherty spoke to the administrator of the group and has this report.
It's the season of giving, and this year, why not give something personal and handmade right here in town? You can find many local crafters selling their creations in the Facebook group Made in Burlington. The group was created by Lorena Copson-Smith, a local crafter herself.
I've been trying to build my business, and somebody in Burlington had said to me that I was like having Etsy in her backyard. And I said, you know, there's so many other crafters here in Burlington. They are doing the same thing. They have so much that people are going on Etsy and paying shipping fees and getting stuff from people all around the country when it's right here in your backyard. And this year, without craft fairs and things like that, it's a lot harder to get our name out there. So I thought about how we could get our names out there to the community and help support each other and the community.
You can find vendors selling everything from candles and clothes to jewelry and signs, and members are ready and willing to help point you in the right direction of what you're looking for.
One thing that I love is a couple people have come on and posted saying, hey, I'm looking for something like this. Do any of you make that? And we've had people that'll say, oh, hey, I make that, or others that are promoting each other saying, oh, hey, I know that this person does it. You know, it's one of those, if you're looking for something, check us out, see what's here. If you don't see something, ask. We might be able to make it for you.
In the absence of craft fairs and other large public events in 2020, Made in Burlington has become a virtual craft fair for residents.
It's been great. We have almost 600 members. We have almost 40 crafters. Anybody can join, basically. And the only requirement is that if you're going to be a crafter that's on the page is that you are a Burlington resident. Anyone that wants to come and browse and shop can be from anywhere.
In a year where many workers and businesses have been affected by the pandemic, the holiday season is a perfect time to shop local.
We have a couple crafters who don't have the business that they did. Their jobs were affected by COVID, so they're relying on their new craft or their hobby or, a way to change things up a little bit and still make some money to make up for what their business has lost.
Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly, wishing you a safe and happy holiday season.
Don't forget to check that out. Made in Burlington Facebook page. Looks like a lot of interesting items there. An annual fundraiser that had to be moved online was still a success this year. The 8th Annual Festival of Trees, typically held at Stonebridge at Burlington, went virtual this year. The fundraiser, which includes an auction of Christmas trees donated by local businesses and organizations, as well as raffle drawings, benefits the nonprofit organization One Angel Foundation, which helps educate children around the world in memory of Jenna Agul, who tragically died while on a ski trip in Colorado in 2011 at the age of 22. Normally, the fundraiser is silent, in-person auction with food at Stonebridge Senior Living. This year, due to the pandemic, it was done completely online. Organizers were worried this might impact the event, but said in the end it was a success. Cheryl Forbes, a regional director of sales for Northbridge Companies, said that despite going virtual, they still received a good number of trees donated for the cause, and many businesses came through despite being hit economically by the pandemic. In total, they raised over $4,000. Jenna's father, Chip Agul, who started the One Angel Foundation with his wife, Joy, said they were happy the event went on despite the circumstances. He added that by going virtually, they actually got a participation from people who normally can't make it to the actual event. Chip said that from a young age, Jenna was an energetic and enthusiastic person who always wanted to help others. She traveled to various countries on missions to help children in need. The One Angel Foundation carries on her work in her honor and memory. In the latest Burlington History Uncovered, Burlington Historical Commission's Peter Coppola goes over the details of a musket that was made in Prussia in the 1830s, used by a Union soldier in the United States Civil War, and eventually ended up in Burlington. Let's take a look.
So they had a going out of business sale, and everything sold out. The shelves were completely empty. Everybody bought lock, stock, and barrel. Empty the store. And this is where the expression came from. The complete rifle. Telling the whole story. The lock is the mechanism here where the musket and the gunpowder is pressed in place and held or locked in place. The stock, which is the wooden part, derived from a German word for stump or tree stump or block, is the main structure of the rifle. And the barrel comes from the word barrel, which is a long cylinder that houses something that you pour or discharge from. So lock, stock, and barrel. What makes this particular musket interesting, and this was just donated by a family in Burlington, is it's a percussion musket, which means that a cap containing a little bit of gunpowder was placed here, and then when the weapon was discharged, the hammer would fall down, exploding the little bit of gunpowder that was in the cap, and that would explode the gunpowder that was in the lock, shooting the ball, the musket ball, out of the musket. We know from the name that's on the lock and the emblem that's on the lock that this is a Prussian rifle, manufactured sometime between 1831 and 1839. Prussia was the German Empire, so this came from Northern Europe. It got to the United States in 1860 and was used by Northern soldiers during the Civil War. This particular rifle ended up in the 29th Infantry of New York, and it was given to a private, James Berry. James Berry carved his name on the stalk right at the butt. So this was originated in Europe, made it to New York in 1860, 1865, and over the last 100 and so years, it worked its way east and ended up with a family in Burlington, and they donated it to the town. And that's the complete story, the whole lock, stock, and barrel.
The Burlington High School winter sports teams are getting ready for the upcoming modified 2021 season during the COVID-19 pandemic. BNews reporter Robert Paris went to get a preview of how the season is shaping up and has this look.
The 2021 winter sports season has officially kicked off at Burlington High School, and tryouts are underway for ice hockey, basketball, and gymnastics.
Finally getting the nod to get out here for winter sports. So basketball, boys are down at the high school right now, boys ice hockey here today. And the way we have things broken down is to stay in cohorts to make sure that we're staying in our 25 kid groupings. So we have a lot of hours ahead of us to get a lot of kids in and out to get these teams picked.
With a number of new protocols in place, athletes will have to experience tryouts and gameplay a little different this year.
So basketball courts are considered smaller surfaces, so there'll only be 12 athletes on one end, 12 athletes on the other during warm-up, and then 5-on-5 during games, obviously. And then out here on the ice is considered a large surface, so with the large surfaces, there'll be 25 student athletes on either side of the ice as long as there is 14 feet in the middle to separate them.
This is my 34th tryout, and I've never, ever had a tryout like this, okay? We all have to do our best. The goals are a little bit different this year. We're trying to keep everybody healthy and have a season. Those are the two goals. So we're trying to do everything the right way, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, obviously, it's a massive adjustment. I just say, like, personally for me, keeping track of time, making sure that I'm not keeping kids near each other for too long, separating, keeping that distance, reminders to sanitize and everything. It's obviously all new, but really, you quickly get used to it. I thought that they did a really nice job following directions and being self-aware. And at the end of the day, the modifications still let us play basketball, so it's not a lot to adjust to. It's pretty basic. And a lot of it's just stuff that we've been adjusting to over the last 9 months anyway. So I thought today went fine. Clearly there's some nerves. A lot of these girls haven't been in a gym since last March. So definitely some rust that needed to get shaken off a little bit. But once they settled in, I thought it was a good time.
Well, there's a lot of things that are different this year. Just training the gymnasts to be comfortable doing gymnastics with their masks on. You know, the moment they come in the gym, we sanitize our hands. Everyone has a designated spot where they put, you know, their belongings. Generally, the first day of gymnastics, everyone just runs in here, throws their stuff in a corner, and, you know, everyone's in one group just kind of hanging out. There's a very particular method to just entering the gym from the first moment they step in here. And so building that regiment is something that we have to really focus on and make sure we do the right way every time.
As teams prepare for games this coming January, the athletic department is continuing to keep everyone safe and distant during exhibitions.
Right now, again, for us, it's about being safe, making sure our student athletes stay safe, remaining vigilant in all the things that we're doing until the vaccine hopefully works and is out there and everybody can have it. I mean, ultimately for us, it's just we need to get day one done safely so we can have day two done the right way. And that's the attitude of all of our kids, all of our student athletes, and all of our coaches is that we're not promised tomorrow if we don't do it well today.
I'm Robert Paris for BNews Sports.
Up next, we go to BNews weatherman Peter Brown to see if we have more snow in the forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Jolie Atwood to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone. This is Peter Brown with Look Weather for the next 7 days. I know that December has definitely felt like December this year. Winter has really come in strong this year. And we're not even at the official start of winter. That's actually going to be happening about in the middle of our 7-day period. So unfortunately, we are getting about as far away from the warm weather as we can. But as we go ahead and start our period on Friday, again, we're going to be seeing temperatures well below average for this time of the year, about 10 to 15 degrees chillier probably than what we should be for the middle of December, when we should be in the upper 30s. Temperatures are only going to be in the mid and upper 20s in those really frigid temperatures at night. And of course, that goes along with any snowpack that's on the ground, it is going to definitely be chilly with near record low temperatures overnight, Friday into Saturday morning. Now, as we round out our period, can't believe it, here we are getting to Christmas Eve. Average highs at this time of the year should only be in the mid-30s, and this is about as cold as it gets all year. From about this period of time on to the middle of January is the chilliest time of the year. And actually ending out our period, looks like temperatures are going to be about maybe 10 degrees warmer than that as we see what looks to be maybe a fairly potent rain system heading towards us for Christmas Eve. And of course, as you notice on the length of days, the days are not getting any shorter now, and actually we're adding a couple of minutes to the afternoon, so that's some good news as we head on in towards winter. Now, as we go ahead, let's take a look at what the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us here in the Burlington area in terms of temperatures and precipitation for the next 7 to 10 days. And this is kind of an interesting graphic. They're actually calling for us to see above average temperatures. That might be reflected as we get towards the end of the period, but starting out, it is definitely going to feel like the middle of winter out there. As we go ahead and look at our precip chances, again, they're calling for an above average chance of precipitation. Again, that might likely be reflected in the large rainstorm that looks like it might be heading our way for Christmas Eve. So let's go ahead and take a look at those 7 days of weather. And again, starting out on Friday, going to be absolutely frigid out there. It's going to be breezy, temperatures only in the mid and upper 20s. You are going to need to really bundle up. And if you are out there at night doing any shopping, it is going to be absolutely cold, down in the single digits. Now, as we get into the Saturday and Sunday time frame, temperatures about average for this time of the year in the mid-30s, and we may see a couple of light flurries passing us by on Sunday. Nothing to worry about right now. As we head into the work week, looks like we're going to be seeing about average and a little bit below average temperatures, but with fair skies. And again, looking towards the Christmas Eve forecast, looks like our temps are going to be rising up into the upper 40s to maybe near 50 as we see a pretty strong rainstorm heading our way. So everyone, get out there, enjoy the weather, and happy holidays.
I'm Julie Atwood, and this is your community calendar. Get ready for a holiday tale. On Wednesday, December 23rd at 1 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a virtual holiday story time. The event will be held on the BPL Facebook page, and everyone is welcome. Get in the spirit with the true meaning of Christmas. On December 24th, the Mount Hope Christian Center will be having a Christmas Eve service at 2, 4, and 6 p.m. Everyone is welcome, and pre-registration is required. To register and for more info, go to www.mounthope.org/Christmas. There's still time for your chance to win. The People Helping People is having their annual Capital Grill raffle. Get your tickets at a Whole Bunch of Flower Market or go to peoplehelpingpeopleinc.org. I'm Jolie Atwood, and that was your community calendar.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo features first responders coming together to honor one of their own who was killed in the line of duty. It was sent in by Joe Brown of JoeBrownPhotos.com and shows members of the Burlington Police and Fire Departments on the common with the Sergeant Michael Chesna thin blue line flag and members of his family. Chesna was killed in the line of duty in 2018, and the flag is going to area police departments in his memory. At the culmination of its journey, the flag will return to Weymouth, where it will be presented to his widow, Cindy Chesna, and their children. Thanks for the photo, Joe. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of your holiday activities, a family trip, or just everyday moments, whatever you think is interesting and want to share with us in the community. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. In closing, this is a particularly acute time of year in need for the food pantry. So if you have an opportunity, visit peoplehelpingpeople.org and make a donation if you would. Okay, that's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Chris Flaherty, Tad Stefanak, and Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, and Jolie Atwood with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us.